What would you do if I told you that right here in the Pacific Northwest, there was a language with only one native speaker left living? Well, you'd probably want to know more about this language and how it's ended up like this. Chinook Jargon has given us a rare glimpse of the life cycle of a language as has been recorded from the moment of its creation to its eventual destruction. The story of the Chinook Jargon is one that shows how a language born out of convenience was eventually killed off out of convenience as well. While the true origin of Chinook Jargon isn't concrete, we can start with what we do know about the language. We know that it started in the Pacific Northwest sometime after the first white traders arrived in 1792. This language was born out of the convenience of being able to trade while speaking the same language. Chinook Jargon is a fusion of native Chinook, English, French, and sailor accented Nuktcan, another local native language. We know this language was created by the traders because Chinook Jargon first showed up in the areas where the traders were known and frequent and spread out with the influence of trade in that area. One of the two major factors that led to the widespread use of Chinook Jargon was that many tribes adopted it almost all at the same time out of the convenience of being able to speak with each other in the same language. The second factor that led to the rapid increase in usage of Chinook Jargon was that the offspring of French traders and the native Chinook people led to a large population of native speakers very quickly. This intermixing of French and Chinook people is the most common reason that there is a large French influence in Chinook Jargon. Now that we have our list of things that we know and we've witnessed the creation of Chinook Jargon, we can take a look at the midlife and the peak of this language's extent. By the late 19th century, Chinook Jargon was spoken by dozens of tribes from northern California to Alaska. While this wasn't the native language for any of these tribes, it was the de facto language for tribe-to-tribe communication and trade between tribes with the non-natives. Chinook Jargon was also the primary language used by Christian missionaries doing outreach work with the tribes in the Pacific Northwest area. These missionaries were also the very first people to create a fully comprehensive written language for Chinook Jargon. By the mid-1900s, though, Chinook Jargon was beginning to be replaced by English, a language that would eventually bring about the end of Chinook Jargon. Due to efforts by the United States government to wipe out the cultural identity of many tribes in the country, it was required that native children learned and spoke in English. This led to the very quick replacement of Chinook Jargon with English. This also brought about the exponential growth of English among tribes where Chinook Jargon was growing at a more linear pace. Soon, tribes that still spoke Chinook Jargon found themselves falling behind the other tribes that were now using English, thus prompting them to switch as well. It is a bit ironic that a language born out of convenience is just as easily killed out of convenience. Now, in the present day, there exists, if any, only one native speaker of Chinook Jargon, and it is officially recognized by the Endangered Language Project as a near-extinct/critically endangered language. In the span of only a few centuries, we as a society have been able to witness the full life cycle of Chinook Jargon from beginning to end. Now with the language on its last legs, there have been some efforts to preserve it, including being taught at several community colleges. Despite these efforts, it is extremely likely that Chinook Jargon will never return to its former glory, and it's still too soon to tell if these classes can even save the language. Maybe the most valuable gift that Chinook Jargon has given us is showing what steps we must take to preserve other languages and not let them die out.